Hi everybody, I'm Marcus Lemonis, and this next video is going to talk to you about the things that you should prepare for before you go buy your next RV.
So if a customer is looking to buy a new RV, we have a lot of tools online where they can start their research. Where would you suggest that they start though? What would be the biggest thing? How would they know which is the right RV for them?
Oddly enough, I think they should start at their kitchen table.
Okay.
And I really think that you should sit down as a family or as an individual and write down the things that you're looking to accomplish while you go RVing.
Okay.
Because I think that the ultimate use of the unit is going to determine the type of unit that you need and the type of floor plan that you need. And an individual who just goes to dog shows or horse shows or tailgating versus a family that travels the country to the national parks, they're going to have different frequency and different distances, and it's going to change their floor plan. So I think when you go into a dealership, you should come in prepared to discuss with the salesperson, we're the Jones family,
okay,
and this is what we're going to use our unit for. We don't know, but we're going to predominantly have 4 people in the unit. I have 2 little kids, or we're just 2 adults. You have to almost know your narrative, know your story. And then I think once you do that, you could start to map into the size of the unit,
okay,
the floor plan of the unit, the whether it's a travel trailer, a fifth wheel, a C-Class motorhome, an A or a diesel. You'll almost fit yourself into that rather than the salesperson trying to fit something in.
Tell you what you need.
Yeah. And I think what happens is, like when I meet a salesperson, if you and I were dialoguing,
sure,
I would want you to ask me a lot of questions. If your salesperson is new and they don't ask a lot of questions, you still have to
figure it out,
have the answers.
Okay.
So for example, I'm married, I don't have any kids, I want to go RVing. I'm probably only going to use it 6 or 7 times a year. I won't travel more than 300 miles. Right? And so already your brain is like, okay, what kind of unit does he need? He doesn't need a big bus, that's a giant waste of money. He doesn't need a small unit because he's going to want to travel 300 miles, so he's going to have to get there, and I don't want him to have to get a second vehicle. So you want to ask all those questions of yourself. Literally sit down, kitchen table, and make notes.
Okay.
What are the kinds of things I want to do? Before you go into the dealership though, I would strongly encourage you to do a little research online.
Okay.
Find out who's the biggest, what do they sell, what are the best manufacturers, and the manufacturers that you buy from make a big difference.
Sure.
And I recommend manufacturers like Forest River, Thor, which makes Keystone and Dutchman and Heartland and Jayco. Winnebago is a good one.
Okay.
And so there's a lot of different manufacturers, but as a first-time buyer, I want to buy from a manufacturer that I know
is reputable.
Yeah, it's like I want to buy a car from a Ford or Chevy or something like that. It's the same thing on the manufacturer side. Additionally, you want to start to ask yourself some questions, and you can type into Google, I'm thinking about going and camping, what's the right kind of unit for you? At places like on our site, you can actually go through a process.
Okay.
And you can find out, okay, it's not perfect, but it gives you some idea.
You have a starting point of where to head into the dealership.
So that's number one.
Okay.
I also want you to go in to the dealership with some level of understanding of a budget.
Okay.
Okay? And I'm talking about like the budget that your wife approves.
That's the real budget.
Right, like I have a budget, and then my wife has a budget, and that's the budget that we go with.
Right.
Because she's usually, whoever pays the bills, husband or wife or whatever it may be, whoever pays the bills should really help outline what's affordable on a monthly basis. And sometimes the excitement, oh my gosh, this is amazing, the excitement could lead to euphoria, which could lead to you signing up for something that maybe is $150 a month more than you really should have.
Right.
Should go in with some level of parameters. Most people don't realize that there's longer financing available for them, up to 240 months in some cases.
Oh, wow.
So if you say, look, my family can afford $200 a month, or $300 a month, or $400 a month, or $99 a month, it will at least help the organization understand not to show you a $250,000 motorhome, even though you think it's spectacular.
Right.
And then your wife's pissed.
Not a sad day.
And then you're leaving with nothing.
And then you're in trouble twice.
Exactly.
Probably. So when I come into the dealership, what can I expect? What
What should you expect?
What should I expect? What should I ask about? What should I look for?
Well, you should, in my opinion, what the first thing that you should experience should be a little bit of conversation with the sales associate, which I call a needs analysis.
Okay.
Making sure that the salesperson is listening to what you're saying. And what you're saying should be, this is what I'm going to do with my unit. This is roughly my budget. Remember the stuff that I asked you to write down on the kitchen table? And that they have their ears wide open and their mouth closed, and they're listening to really understand what works for you and your family. And not allow them to take you to a place that is uncomfortable from a payment standpoint or unreasonable from a usage standpoint.
Okay.
Keep them on game. The best sales professionals will actually keep you in check.
Okay.
You'll get excited and they'll say, it's awesome, let's come back over here.
Back to a little bit reality.
Right, let's come back to over here. And you should expect that the salesperson would actually dialogue with the whole family,
Okay.
not just you. They would be asking everybody there what the excitement levels are, what the concerns are. Because owning an RV it's not a heavy commitment, but it is a responsibility. You have to understand where you're going to store it, what campgrounds you're going to go to, you know, how you're going to make that payment, what the insurance is, how much the maintenance is. There's a lot that goes into it, and you just need to understand it. It's not like owning a boat.
Okay.
Okay, it's much, no disrespect to the boat industry, because I love them, but it's less expensive than owning a boat.
Oh.
And it's less expensive than actually traveling and staying in hotel rooms.
Sure.
Think about it.
Right.
Right? The average RV payment in this country, the average is anywhere between $200 and $300.
Okay.
It's average.
Sure.
And a good night's stay at a hotel could be $119, $159, right? Holiday Inn, Hampton Inn, 2 nights.
That adds up.
That's it.
That's over.
So if you love the outdoors, this is the right
way
thing
to
for
go.
you. Yeah.
So when I'm at the dealership, what about the sales process? What should a customer be looking for during that process? What should they be weary of? What should they go into it knowing?
They should go in understanding that the MSRP, the sticker price, is not the price.
Okay.
And that the manufacturers put a suggested retail price on there to give the dealer a lot of room to be able to make a profit or to work the trade into the transaction.
Okay.
And there's not as much profit as people think, but there's enough that there should never be a conversation about paying full retail for the unit. Never. Ever.
Okay.
And so you should always expect a healthy discount. Obviously, the lower the price of the unit, the less room there is
Sure.
to play with. But it's important that the consumer understand that there is negotiating room. It's not a one price environment where it's just like take it or leave it. And that they should understand the different steps. Picking the right unit for your family first is most important.
Okay.
Making sure that it fits into your budget second, and then understanding all the parts and pieces that go with it would be last.
Okay.
I don't want to see anybody get shoved into a unit. I don't want to see anybody be pushy and try to get somebody to buy something that's more than they can afford or different than what they want. And whether a salesperson is paid commission or not, they should be focused on making sure the customer gets what works for them.
Right.
And it doesn't always happen. And so you have to really, as a consumer, you have to go in really prepared to have fun and enjoy yourself. And it's different than buying a car.
Okay.
Like I think a car buying process, I was in the car business for years, it's a little more anxious. Like I have to have a car.
You have to get it right away.
Yeah. In an RV, I want to have an RV. And I want the experience to feel just as exciting. And if it doesn't, then I would take a minute, take a pause,
Step back.
and step back.
Think about it.
Yep. And don't rush into it.
Sure. Because it's a lifestyle.
It is a
You
lifestyle.
have to be happy with that.
Look, the RV lifestyle could be one of the best out there because it allows you to see America, see it affordably, be removed from your electronic devices, spend time with your kids, your grandkids, your brother, your sister, your aunts, your neighbors, your fraternity brothers. You can go tailgating to NASCAR. You can go to tailgating at a football game. There's so many. You can go to horse shows and dog shows and your kid's soccer tournament. And you can go park by the beach or park by the highway or see the national parks. I mean, did I give you enough?
Possibilities are endless.
Yeah, they're endless. And what I love most about the RV business is that I could just get on the road and go. I can just go for it and just drive.